Is there an album that you were connected to that you can remember, like to Terry's point, going through the whole process, becoming one with that album, always rocking that album to the point where you just knew a whole bunch of shit on there backwards, or you know the routine?
Liquid Swords is the one that stands out the most.
Okay.
That was the one that front to back I knew, and like
Favorite joint on there? Mine's Shadowbox.
Oh man, I don't know if I have. Like probably Fourth Chamber.
Yeah, Fourth Chamber. That was a joint.
I'm not mad at that.
Shadowboxing is really dope too. Bible is on there too, which
Basic
is really
instructions
dope.
before
Just
leaving
kill the
Earth.
priest.
Not mad at that.
Yeah.
But that's the one that stood out for me.
Liquid Swords. What about you, Jay Moore? Give me an album.
I can just tell you when
Spice
Doggy
Girls.
Style finally came out.
Yeah,
What'd he say?
I would agree with that.
Like I was fresh off still having my, I had my driver's license. So I'm
Yeah.
able to move around and
Yeah.
have my music in my car.
Yeah.
And I remember leaving school that day, and I went to Sound Warehouse on Manchester Road. I mean, I remember the details.
Okay.
Oh man, Willie Manchester.
Went to got the Doggy Style tape because no CD player in the car, no
Okay.
CD player in my room, so I was still rocking with the tapes.
Yep.
And I was with this cat Anthony Roberson. We drove around listening to that whole album front to back, and we were like, "This is it." I mean, this is as good as we expected. And I remember getting home and breaking open the liner notes. And if you remember, if you got Doggy Style, that first pressing, like everything was out of order. Yeah. There were songs listed on there that weren't on there. Mm-hmm. If you got that first pressing, you also got the song G's Up, Hoes Down, which had a sample that wasn't cleared, so it was taken off all subsequent pressings. And that night, of all things, I drove to my church youth group.
Look out now.
Like bumping Doggy Style. And then my boy Ben was inside, and I was like, hey, man, let's go outside for a second. And we played... my mom would be so disappointed. We played Snoop Doggy Dogg's Doggy Style in the church parking lot. But it was such a good album. I had to go ahead and listen to it right then and there.
With your sinning ass.
I know. We were just
heathens.
The Lord know my heart, though. The Lord know my heart.
Clearly. Okay. I ain't
You
mad.
remember the Ghostface album where the track listing was wrong on the back? What album was that?
Track listing was wrong.
Is that Bulletproof Wallets?
It might have been. I don't know.
Because there was a bunch of songs that they wind up not being on that album.
That's right, because the Sun.
I think
the Sun was one off. I know that one. Yep,
Good Times.
There's like 4 of them.
Yeah,
actually.
there was some really great records that wound up not being on that album.
Yeah, that would have been he might have actually continued his
streak. Yeah,
his streak if some of those songs were actually on there.
If the Sun was cold, I give me an album, Long. Give me an album that just.
2 stand out.
He said 1, motherfucker.
But if I was going to go to 1, I would probably say Slick Rick, The Art of Storytelling.
Aha.
99.
I remember when you got
Not
that.
Slick Rick, Street Talking.
Yep.
That was on the album.
Yeah.
I know that entire album.
I remember when he got that album. We listened to it together.
Yeah.
You know, it was my joint on there, Frozen, with Slick Rick.
Yeah. Raekwon.
Or Raekwon. Yeah, there was a video for that. Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good one. And that one and Black Stars, Respiration. With Respiration got me into that, and I was like, yo.
I'm not mad at that.
A second one would be Tupac's All Eyes on Me.
See what you started,
man.
You know what?
See what you started.
It's all right though. It's all right though.
If I go back before I was like really into hip hop.
Yeah.
What year did that come out? That
Which
album?
96.
Yeah, it would have to be. That was probably the first one for me.
All Eyes on Me.
Yeah, because the double disc.
That's a great album, man.
It is.
Yep.
But
I know
when I came back and stuck, it was those 2 albums, and there's actually Inspector Deck's
Uncontrolled Substance.
Uncontrolled Substance.
That's
Those
a
are the
good
3.
album.
Well, no, I remember with All Eyes on Me, it came out the same day as the Fugees' The Score.
Yep.
Oh, really?
And I remember just
You talk about a good album.
going to
Great albums.
My roommate at the time, my freshman year, Benny Holman. We went to the mall, and I think he bought All Eyes on Me, and I bought The Score.
You stole the score.
I didn't steal nothing.
Okay.
I had money in my pocket.
Oh, excuse me, brother.
And I think it was like Valentine's Day. Like that.
Oh, you was baller.
Yeah, but
What's that got to do with
I mean, he probably had a date
Celebrating
set up.
Valentine's Day, you gotta have that,
date set up. You know what I'm talking about?
But the thing is, everybody was
Control.
anticipating All Eyes on Me because of the hype, but we were blown away by The Score. Like people forget how good that album is.
Yeah. It's, I believe, one of, if not the highest selling hip hop albums of all time.
Score, oh yeah, Score's got, I think, has a diamond next to it. So
Jay Diff is one of the biggest Pac fans I know. He was
Mike,
like,
Google that real quick. Highest selling hip hop album.
Yeah, let's see what the Score did.
Give me an album, man, while I look this up.
I actually agree with Doggy Style. Doggy Style was the first album that I bought that I didn't have to get from my brother.
Okay.
So my brother was 7 years older than me, so he bought everything. So I would just go in his room and grab whatever I wanted to listen to. When Snoop was coming out, that lead up to Snoop coming out was just so big. I mean, he was on Arsenio Hall. He was on
the first cover of Vibe.
First cover of Vibe. He was on the soundtrack to Deep Cover. It was just, everybody was looking forward to it. So I copped that cassette tape from IRC Records in the neighborhood.
Okay.
And went home, played it on my Iowa bedroom radio system.
What happened to them?
I don't know, but
They were popping
that album was the truth, though. I mean, from front to back. He's telling him how to use a computer. How about that? But Doggy Style definitely.
I see you.
And if we're throwing two out there, because I know y'all said Me Against, not Me Against the World. I would say Me Against the World.
All Eyes on Me.
All Eyes on Me.
Yeah.
Personally, just because, I don't know, it's just at that time.
You biased?
No, I'm not biased. It's just, it's related to a lot of things that were going on at the time. So I kind of identify with that album a little more.
I think I was in like 5th or 6th grade when All Eyes on Me came out. So Me Against the World was a few years before that, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I would have been mad young listening to Tupac.
I think I was
that came out in
a
94.
freshman. I was a freshman in high school when
So I was,
Me Against the World came out.
6th, 7th, 8th grade.
Oh, wait, that's not right. 96? No, I
Yeah,
would have been in
I-
8th grade.
Yeah.
Never mind. I'm lying.
No, but I
No,
mean,
you wouldn't
that's
have
the
been
whole
in
thing.
because I was in 9th grade.
I was a
It came
freshman.
out in 90.
I was a freshman in 97.
It came out. Me Against the World came out in 95.
Was it 95?
End of 94. End of 94.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Into 95.
because he was locked up when it came out.
Yep.
MOB, drop that, man.
That's just the crazy thing. Well, and it just goes back to for this new audience of people who listen to music, and maybe it does work differently for them, but because we actually sat with the packaging and had to actually live with these records, it really does mark time. Like I can remember, what I was wearing and what girl I liked, and what I was driving. Like I remember I had a 87 blue Mercury Sable. That's what I was riding around listening to Doggy Style in.
Yep.
Because I was just invested in the music like that.